ये शब्द जो असी सारे ने इकट्ठे होकर गायन किया सी, this शब्द that we have just sung is by Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Maharaj, नौवें पातशाह, जिन्हों का पिछले साल असी 400 साल मनाया है। गुरु जी शब्द दे विच कहते हैं, in this शब्द, in the Rahul Nibandh, the theme of the शब्द, in the Rahul Bhakti, Guruji talks about living a God-conscious life. And Guruji says that living a God-conscious life, you have to start at this very moment of your life and not wait for the later part of your life. Because Guruji says, "Chin chin aud bihat hai, phoote kat jo pani." Just like an earthen pot, what we call a pitcher, which carries water. Our lives are just like that. And imagine if there's a small crack in that earthen pot and the water drips out bit by bit from that pot. Eventually that pot becomes empty, and that signifies the coming to the end of our lives. So we do not know, all of us are not aware of how much of water is in our respective pitchers. Is our pitcher still full, or is there little bit of water left? None of us know when the day of reckoning will come. And when that water finishes, then we are called back to go to our Maker. So Guruji says, as you are not aware of the time that you have left, you must from this day onwards focus on concentrating and living a God-conscious life. Day and night, if possible. Chetna hai to chet le, nis din mein prani, day and night. Guruji says in the next line, very often we are distracted by what happens around us, by the challenges of Maya, and we disconnect with that God consciousness. And very often we are disconnected with the consciousness because of the challenges of all the Maya, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Ahankar, which take us away from this consciousness. So we need to focus and bring our consciousness back to where it was. And in the end of the Shabad, Panktiyaan di akhirli bandh de vich Guruji gives us a message of hope. Sade sare avasthe ke Guruji kehndे ਹਨ, there is still hope because all of you, all of us are still here. We are still in a position to change our situation if we are not living a God-conscious life. We are not living a life where we realize God is all around us and within us and living a virtuous life. Guruji says, "Aj hu kach bigadiyo nahi." Ajay kuch bhi nahi bigadiya. Nothing has. There is no harm. No harm has been done until now because you are still alive. You still have there is still some water in your pitcher. And use that time wisely. Connect with the Vaheguru Paramatma by singing His praises, living a life of gratitude and always being God conscious. Guruji कहते हैं, कहो नानक तह भजन ते निर्भय पद पावे. By meditating and connecting on Him, we shall obtain that state of nirpay. Nirpay means fearlessness. Fearlessness is always talked about as a virtue in Gurbani. But we must understand from Gurbani what is the kind of fear that Guruji wants us to take away from. During the time of our Gurus and even before, the fear that the clergy had put into the minds of ordinary people was things like fear of heaven and hell, fears of your soul being stuck somewhere in some realm, and you can't get out of it. Fears that if you don't perform a particular ritual, then something bad will happen. All kind of fears in the name of religion, in the name of spirituality. And Guru Nanak and the Gurus after him wanted to take us out of that fear. Guruji ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਡਰਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮੁਕਤ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸਨ भी ये डर साडे विच पाए गए हैं। And the purpose of placing those fears within our minds, within the minds of the masses, was simply to enslave the masses spiritually and religiously to the clergy. So Guru ne sanu, Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib in his last line says, "Kaho Nanak teh bhajan te nirbhay pad pave." When you live a God-conscious life, when you live a life where you are conscious about what God is and He's all around you, then your mind is liberated from these fears. Our mind is taken out from these fears. They oh dar nahi reh jande. आओ सारे अगले शब्द दे विच जुड़िए. Let us sing the next शब्द. We are here today to commemorate or to pray for the soul, the departed soul who has left us. And Guruji says in Gurbani, we do not as Sikhs, we do not have a concept where we will pray or do some kind of prayer and the person who is departed gets that benefit of that prayer. We do not have such a concept, because Guruji fears, Guruji tells us everything is here and now. If you want your soul to be in a good place, to be with God, then you have to earn or connect with Vaheguru Paramatma and live a conscious, God-conscious life here and now, within your own life, and earn that whatever पूंजी, जो साडी पूंजी है वो इस जन्म दे विच जीवन मुक्त होके असीं जाना है. We have the concept of जीवन मुक्त, being liberated while still alive. So earning and living a God-conscious life while still alive, and not really bothered or concerned about what is going to happen to our souls after we are departed. Because when you live a God-conscious life, those fears are taken away and we leave it in the hands of God, and He will take us to where we are supposed to go. आओ एक शब्द दे विच असीं जुड़ना करिए. गुरु अर्जन साहिब जी का बहुत ही प्यारा एक शब्द है, काट की पुत्री कहाँ करे बपरी, खिलावन हारो जाने. इस शब्द दे विच गुरु जी कहंदे हन कि असीं एक पुत्री की तरह हाँ, ते वो परमात्मा सानू कदे इधर ले जाता है, कदे उधर ले जाता है. कहाँ करे बपरी, खिलावन हारो जाने. जो खिलावनहार है वो अकाल पुरख परमात्मा है. उस साडे जीवन की डोरी उसके हथ दे विच है. आओ सारे